yes, alone is insufficient. And it has no use that the Buddha himself had stated. So the practice is important. And in this practice, the way I see it, first you must get an appreciation and value of this great quality of letting go, which will benefit us not only in our future samsara growth and for the realization of the Buddhist growth, but to make our life here also happy, here and now happy. So realizing that we have to be very vigilant. Energy, one of the factors in the noble way towards Dhamma being, effort has to be made. Then also sati is important, mindful. Because you must be mindful when you are getting attached to sense pleasure and trapped. And at that moment, you must be able to get those thoughts mitigated. Of course, this is a gradual process, as the Buddha has repeatedly mentioned. It is not something to be achieved overnight. So let us hear what our panelists have to say on this subject. So I have great pleasure in inviting Dr. Nayan Vijay to make his presentation for 20 minutes, as usual, which will be followed by a discussion of 20 minutes, and Dr. Mathil will speak for 20 minutes, followed by a discussion of 20 minutes. Dr. Nayan Vijay.
Well, I talk about the subject a lot, not commonplace, but it is the paramount important we are to achieve our ultimate goal. Because letting go is a procedure which we develop through meditative process with mindfulness and not getting attached to any of the sense pleasures that Raja mentioned. So we have to be mindful, we have to detach and ultimately stay detached if we want to reach the ultimate goal of Nibbana. But the problem we have is, even if we momentarily detach from our sense pleasure inputs, we can attach these. So it's a constant cleaning like dust in a house or sweeping the floor. It has to be done repeatedly, we have to be something, and we have to engage in a thought process as to what we are attached to at any given moment and try to get rid of that item as a priority. So I want to take you through a process that every one of us will have to go through but hasn't gone through in this world and think that it will not happen to us because we live in the thought of it is death. Death will come to us now or in the future. Death has already come to us through our friends and relatives and parents, and nobody is exempt. It's an inevitability and feared by the uninitiated. Now we are all seated here in the YMCA thinking we are students of the Buddha and of the Dhamma, and we are somewhat okay in accepting this, but I don't think it comes that easy. In order to let your best friend, which is your body, go away from the mind, and for the mind not to attach itself to another body, you have to use some help and understand. Let's see how that goes. Now, it is feared by the uninitiated, and the loss to loved one is great if they too are uninitiated. And we are forced to separation from the people we love to hopefully a non-sad and a non-grieving mental state, but we often don't like to undergo because we like to stay where we are. We think we have a name, we think we have ownership, we think that we will be glad tomorrow to attend to something else. But we have no guarantee whatsoever. The desire is foremost for a new life if death takes us away. Because without a new life or a new body to which the mind can get attached, we are non-entity. We are who we are because of the concept of I and mind. And that comes through attaching ourselves to a body at the point of death, which happens in a millisecond. It happens to especially those who are unaware of impermanence. Now all of us might think that just because we say the three words of Anitya, Dukkha, Anatta, that we are highly ingrained in that way of thinking. But most of us are not. However much we think we appreciate or are aware of impermanence, if this all were to be filled by some toxification, if all run out, hoping we will use it. Because we want to live tomorrow also. So we are very critical in our attachment and we like to stay where we are. Now when somebody dies, there is a physical energy transfer from mind to fertilized soul. And this transfer we feel takes place within a moment, as I said before. And it is actually like an encrypted form of information, concentrated into a very short energy transfer to a fertilized ovum, which shudders at the entry of this energy. Now, in transferring, we transfer not only the potential of a new life for the ovum, but we also transfer all our lives and this life to you. So, it energizes the reconstruction, development of the body according to the genetic code will follow, uniting with the software transfer that we have just engineered. This transfer is something that takes place without any volition, because it goes from a previous mind to a new mind in formation. The newly conceived fertilized ovum will proceed to attract nourishment from the mother and ultimately develop into a baby or a child and will bring great joy to the family. Now Buddha says birth is full of that, Nibbana, Dukkha. But all of us who are uninitiated will feel the opposite. We feel that, oh, what a happy thing, what a lovely child, what a lovely smile that the baby had. So we are that way ignorant of what that baby is going to go through or what the parents are going to go through with the baby. Now, we also name, all beings are born without a name. And these beings all receive a name. And there are 7,000 million people on this earth, with 7,000 million differentiating names which give them the power to think that there is an I and I. Now, most often, the growth of the baby leads to sensory inputs, to their desire, taste, and delusion. All joyful experiences are directed to oneself, and an I concept develops. This progresses through infanticide, adult life, through education, job and remuneration, increased attachment to pleasurable pursuits, high expectations of health, wealth and happiness, and failure of saying as sickness, aging and death, which we This leads to sadness. Now, our biggest problem is how to overcome sadness. But we are constantly working to attach sadness to ourselves by clinging to things that are of no avail, that we do not control, that we cannot have for it. How do we overcome? Develop merit through gifts of alms, correctly applied and meditation, dana, sila, bhavana, following the Eightfold Path, sila, samadhi, prajna, and developing a full knowledge of the anatta and anitya and anatta through concentrated, mindful, cutting off of all attachment, using the above as the tools. We have to be mindful of where our mind is, mindful not to get attached to anything that the mind sees, hears or whatever, or touches. And if we can use the concentrated mind, we can cut these attachments at their beginning so that they don't become present. Lots of fear of sickness, disability, aging and death occur when we have cut our attachment, because we own nothing. We don't own our body, we don't own our possessions, money, bank accounts, this, that and the other. So there is no fear. This place burns up, we go to some other place. That's different. Fully understanding the unsatisfactory nature of all possessions and no desire for either. Ready to face death as death should be faced. Letting go of all material things, as I said before, and being beings, and finally, whom do we love most? We love the person seated on his chair. Ourselves. We don't love anything more than ourselves. And the second thing we love is food, because it gives nourishment, and we think it will give life. Reaching the blissful state of total non-attachment, and Arahant believes in the full knowledge that if death were to come at any time, he is ready. He is ready to go without being attached to anything, with the full force of concentrated mind in a mindful state. Energy released at birth. From the beginning we talked of death, now comes death again in the initiation, in the enlightenment. In the enlightenment there is no grief, there is no attachment, there is no sadness. It is only readiness to go. Energy released at birth joins the universe without a desire for either. Now this energy comes from the brain. What is the mind is the software of the brain. The software of the brain is diffusely spread along every convolution of the brain, which is the hardware you can call it, and the mind as the software. And when we detach through mindfulness and concentration from our attachments to ourselves, which is actually the hardware of the brain, then we can let go of this body to develop a powerful force, to break through gravity, to break through the stratosphere, to go out, away from the creation of another. And that we call Nibbana.
And I would call upon Dr. Basil to make his contribution for 20 minutes.
Chairman, Dr. Vijay Surya and friend.
Since I have to continue with this discussion of letting go, I would like to first of all answer a question that came up about our giving now. Now, we human beings have evolved through samsara for a pretty long time, and no two of us are alike, and no two of us are equal in the ladder of our evolution. So with this, our thinking, our behavior, our activities are differ from one to the other. So at the time when there were the bhikkhus who had got ordained and who were meditating to get out of samsara, went to Buddha and questioned him. At that time, Lord Buddha gave us a sermon called Sabbasava Sutta, how to get rid of your taints. It is the taints that are holding you in samsara. So giving up means giving up the taints, giving up the bonds, giving up the gluing, giving up the attachments, giving up your slavery to your sense faculties. So he said, Buddha said, Bhikkhus, I say that asavas or cankers, mental defilements or intoxicants can be got rid of by the one who sees and knows asavas and cankers. That means he categorically said, persons can get over the cankers, person can let go things, only a person who sees and understands what the problem is. So that means he cut off a good section of the community who are not able to see and understand. So this does not mean this is a degradation for the Sajjana. He implies that we are in the process of our learning, we are going from one class to the other. So it is the person who is matured enough can develop the ability to let go. And he gave 7 points of how to get rid of things. He said, Darsana, which means insight, by seeing, paying attention and getting to know insights about them. That is, understand the problem in its intricate manner. Then Samvara, restraining yourself. Restraining yourself, you are not going to get involved in that. You keep away from that particular involvement, and that is another way of getting over things. Then Patisevana, to be abandoned by using. Now, we are on a certain stage of a turmoil, because we have collected a whole heap of lights and disguised aspirations in samsara, which is prompting us, our klesha coming up to our mind all the time. And also, to get rid of these things, to take part in the exercise of letting go, you must be there. You have to sustain yourself. You have to live and use the living force to dissolve yourself. That means you yourself have built up yourself, now you are dissolving yourself by letting go. So he says, Patisevana, by means of using the 4 requisites wisely, food, clothing, shelter and medicine, and not getting enslaved to them. So now a lot of people in the society take food to show, to stimulate their sense faculties, to lengthen their desires, to build up upadana. That means you are prolonging yourself in samsara. But Buddha says, use this for the particular purpose moderately to help you to do what you are doing. Then Patisevana, abandoning by enduring. In certain areas you have to get beaten up, but don't react for them. Endure, such as heat, cold, hunger sometimes, and bad, blameworthy words, rash words, and things that you don't like being told about you. You have to stay calm, be quiet, and don't react to them. This is one way of letting go a problem that would arise. Then, Parivajjana, by avoiding places, conditions, and areas that promote cankers. That means he in the Singalo Vada Sutta, he said, gave various areas of how to avoid nightclubs, how to avoid frivolous places, how to avoid drinking, how to avoid bad company, use your discussions and do what is right and what is wrong, all those things, you have to conduct yourself in such a way wisely to get over these problems. Then another area is like vinodana. By removing the asaras and contributory factors, such as sensual pleasure, ill will, unwholesome thoughts, jealousy, hypocrisy, humbug, all that, this is by being mindful of what comes to your mind, analyze, look at them, and know that they are harmful, they are not promoting your targets that you are aiming at in life. Nibbana is it by removing them from the way. And here element of samma vayama comes in. You look upon yourself, find out what is wrong, what is not correct, and resolve to remove them from yourself. And then in place of them, acquire good ones, opposing things that are beneficial and wholesome. And finally is like bhavana. Bhavana is mind culture, meditation. There it's a case of primary importance falls on to samma sati, being mindful of what is happening and what is coming up into your mind. And mind you, not simply being mindful, is a samma sati. The right use the mindfulness in the correct way with powers of discretion and knowing what is coming into your mind and to take it or not to take it. Discretionary power. Mindfulness with discretionary power. Then, having understood the Dhamma, Four Noble Truths, Tilakkhana, and the case of impermanence, cause and effect, then develop virya, effort to be able to undertake those things. Then develop insight into them, develop panya, and by means of bhavana, you bring yourself up to a point where you are strong enough to withhold yourself or let go of things. And I will take up this question of bhavana a little later. I will go to another point that came up. Right. Now, what happens when you cling on to things? Because you need them. The needs are twofold. Wholesome, unwholesome. Useful, not useful. Good to you, detrimental to you. So use your discussion. And we will see what are the components that make you possess things, hold on to things, get hold of things. Now, external objects. Now see, you are a person who has inborn needs. That comes to you not from your own volition, but Mother Nature, when it gives you life, gives you demands that you must maintain this life, do what is necessary. And thereafter you fall into a prey of taking this too far and fulfilling your sense faculties and indulging for sensual pleasures. So you are also not only given the permission to use things, but in the process of your using, you are expected to develop panya, powers of discussion, wisdom, that will help you to go through this hard way. And that comes usually now, a student is given exercises to practice, calculations to work with to get the answer. Similarly, these difficulties are thrown on you for you to undergo them, get the insight into them and develop panya, what is ultimately why this is there. The things that confront you, that makes you makes you to cling on to and not allow you to hold on to things with external objects. Advertising. When you are in a sleepy mood, you see a beautiful advertisement, your subconscious mind has taken what hold of it without your knowing. So you become enslaved for those objects that has got into your mind, knowingly or unknowingly. Then external demands. A self, now you have to, internal demands. As a self, you have to maintain yourself. There are certain bondages that arise from family ties, social demands, obligations, then various things that you cannot simply give away easily. So then you have to take up those duties as obligations, not getting yourself involved in them, but do them dispassionately, without a self involving in them, just as a sense of duty. Then self-preservation I spoke to you. So those are the causes that makes it difficult for you to let go. And also not knowing the gravity of things that confront you. That is what Lord Buddha said, for the people who know and see. So those who don't know and see will inevitably go through difficulties and hardships in life, and they will learn lessons out of those things by going through them. That is what is expected. Then also taints'klesha. Klesha is something like a river that flows endlessly and flowing through your mind. It comes up at the lower levels of the mind, which causes unconscious mind, and flows up to the conscious mind. And knowing that this is happening, Lord Buddha says, use your mindfulness. Be mindful all the time in whatever you do, whatever action, by sitting, walking, drinking, talking, meditating, all that. This is the best guardian who will just savior of you to put you on the right track. And this flows like anything. Another very important area is bhavana, meditation. A very subtle area that is not spoken of very much is what happens in meditation. Now you start meditating with certain objectives in mind. That is, you have got to know that existence or samsara is in a state of dukkha, suffering. So, having understood samsara, you also have probed around and found out that these things are impermanent. These things are just activities going on, the real depth of it without a self, cause and effect operating. Then also you got to know that sometimes the external conditions, natural laws like heat, cold, rain, tsunamis, droughts, all these things are cast upon you unexpectedly, and you have to react in certain ways. Sometimes you have to react badly, sometimes you have to react in a wholesome way. Especially when it comes to sustaining your life. It is by trying to preserve life that you do a lot of wrong things, damage to others as well as to you. So, having understood this, a mature person who has come to know and see things will want to get rid of this horrible place. Think of Nibbana. Then he also knows, he goes for teachers, understands and say, we have gone to Buddha and understood that mind culture, meditation and disciplining your mind is the best way to get rid of attachments, bondages, suffering, all that. So in doing that, what happens in meditation is that you first develop a state of equanimity. You are able to hold your mind in concentration on a certain area for a period of time. Then physically what happens is, the energy that is working in your sense faculties becomes a little dormant, and they virtually relax and go to sleep, then the observation area of the mind which you are concentrating on becomes more powerful, and you are able to keep your mind on that particular thing for a long period of time, which is samatha, tranquility. After you have done that, what happens is the mental energy builds up so powerfully that you can penetrate to a certain phenomena a lot beyond what you have done before. It is only at that point you really understand the concepts of Four Noble Truths and impermanence and non-self and cause and effect. Here what happens physically, as doctors, he will agree with me, in our body they say there is about a medical doctor will agree with me, there is supposed to be about 100 billion neurons or cells.
Brain cells.
Out of which only about 10 to 15% are operating. So when you meditate with these objectives in target, trying to attain equanimity, gain insight, the dormant neuron cells will get wakened up. And then you get more power, more energy and rejuvenation to go on the right path. So if you have made wrong decisions earlier, now you develop the power to overpower them. In our samsaric journey, all our aspirations, our volition that we have done, they don't simply leave you. They are there, but what we can do is to distance them by bringing another area of more powerful ones to prevent them from reaching you. So in meditation, by the developed mind, with this energized self, you develop greater powers, and you can simply throw away those things that are bothering you. This is why higher levels of meditation you develop jhana. You develop the ability to see things in the past. You develop the ability to understand things that are beyond you. You develop the ability to hear things that are far away. You develop the ability to see deep inside you, your past. Then all the problems are solved because you have got the answers to your question. And you can sail through. And finally, Lord Buddha said, the wisdom that helps you to distance these opposing factors or what you call Mara, negativity, unwholesome, is Sankarupekka Jnana.
Or the knowledge of the equanimity of formations.
Sankarupekka Jnana comes after meditation and you awaken your dormant cells. If you want, I can speak. Alright. Then, doctor spoke to you about the death. He went into it very briefly. At that time a thought came to me, now there's another formula in our group, process of development that we call detach and attach. Samma Vayama is that. So, when we know that we are facing death, we are coming to an end, we must prepare ourselves. We must not give room for the mind to dwell on, harbor on grudges, what you have not done, all these negative areas, but to build up on the positive areas. Think of the day or think of a place where you want to be born, where you can learn more Dhamma and develop your areas to attain a state of to become Arya Buddha, noble one. And there are even the abodes that are favorable. You can think of those things and program yourself. And with the resolute programming, with resolving properly, these things will come to you at the point of death. At the moment of death it seems, for about half an hour, even after the heart has stopped, the brain energy is there. Then all these past things that you have resolved keep flowing into you in the order of priority. So at least at that point, you decide on what to harbor on. But if you have nothing, you prepare your mind in a blank manner, there is nothing to come forward at the point of death, that means you have won the battle. You have come Nibbana. Thank you very much. Friends, we are listening to a very interesting presentation by Dr. Basil on the subject of understanding and practice of letting go. Now, he mentioned, although it's not a little that much relevant to the subject, a very important aspect of meditation. Now, he was saying that when you are meditating, your whole energies, all the energies are directed on the subject of meditation. Otherwise, the energies are lost because the mind is traveling from here, there and everywhere. So the lost energies there are concentrated in one spot. And that is the strength that gives you to go into deep concentration, go to the jhanas, as he said, and also see your past lives, and certain powers can be developed. All that arises because of the concentration of energy. Now, our next panel discussion, I feel getting announced earlier, will be on the third Sunday of next month, the month of April, on the 20th. And the subject is Gods and Heavens. Gods and Heavens. And the panelists are heaven. The panelists are Mr. Piyadasa Bhattinam, who has been participating in our discussion often, and Mr. Shane Block, who will be coming for the first time, a Buddhist scholar and a preacher of the Dhamma. So that will be on the 20th of April. Then he also, Basil also refers to another important aspect of sati. Now when you say mindfulness, as he quite rightly said, but it's given in the past, it's sammasa, right understanding, not right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is the thing, because you can do a lot of robberies can be planned, murders can be planned with mindfulness. But that is not sammasa, you see. So therefore, that distinction should be made. Then also, there is this mind, you also mentioned this. Why are we born again and again? Because of the love for life. The love for life that we have.
Yes, can I come in at that point? Actually, I want to give you a modern day, I don't know whether it will be the same as the Buddha saying, but definition of the mind. If we don't know the mind, we use the mind word over and over again. But the mind is the fast-track processor of all sense inputs, present and past, and the creator of all thoughts, words and deeds. Now when we concentrate the mind, we can cut the fetter. And Dr. Basil said that it will encompass all the dormant areas. That may be very true, because it will gather more energy, and with the greater energy we can cut through like a laser. With our normal Sutatjana life, we are looking at it like a floodlight. We are getting attached to every thing that we see, and we don't want to leave this because something in the floodlight system will attract us. Whereas where we are going, if we sharpen our concentration, we can hopefully go further.
Thank you, Mike. Now also Bashir mentioned about this letting go of unwholesome actions. Now that is, he is relating this letting go to the seed aspect, the virtue aspect. So this is also very important, because now when you let go, when you restrain yourself from an unwholesome action that you are about to commit. Now here a good example of criticism. People don't like to get criticized, and sometimes there can be abuse also. There is abuse. Now what is as Buddhist, our reaction should be restraint, control ourselves. Because if you reply to abuse with abuse, that will lead to unnecessary conflict. And sometimes long-standing friendships are damaged by that kind of instantaneous action, and sometimes they are never made good in their lifetime. So this is a very important thing which will give you dividend here in this life itself for your own benefit. You see. So that is something that we have to remember. Now he also mentioned about this death. Now the Buddha's advice, as I mentioned earlier, is to get detached from life, because you know that this life is unsatisfactory. We are saying life is unsatisfactory, but still we want to live. We want to live. Now a very interesting question mine was raised when Venerable Ajahn Brahmavamsa was here and giving a talk. And one question was this: why should we be attacked, be so keen about Nibbana? Because they are not going to live. So it's a very, all this effort is to put an end to life. And therefore there is no attraction in that. Therefore if you are saying that you can go to heaven where there is only pleasure, I mean that is something worthwhile. And his reply was very crucial. He said, if you are born again, he didn't tell this part that he presumed that you will be born as a human. But it need not be a human. You can be born as an animal. You can be born as an ant, you see, or a snake, you see. But he said, when you are born as a human, in Krishna said as a human, would you like to go through that period when you are helpless, as an infant? You are helpless. You are told this one and that one, even to clean your body, you have to depend on others. You would like to be going to school. Most children don't like to go to school, you see, and then you do like to go through that whole process again. So the best is for you to put an end to life. Now, there's the other aspect that which I thought should be mentioned about this renouncing, you see, giving up the attachment to sense pleasures. And these are the words of the book. As a record, I am also going in because there is time at our disposal. In the Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta 106, I quote, impermanent monks are the pleasures of the senses, empty, false, unreal. These evil, unwholesome thoughts lead to covetousness, ill will, and horror. Unquote. Now, there we see the damage that is caused by these sense pleasures. As a gradual process, we must try to overcome them. Then, there is also another quotation of the book, which is there in the Dhammaka, about this gradual process. We were discussing that at length, gradual process. I quote, as a blade of grass will cut the hand if rawly grasped, so an ascetic's life will drag one down to hell if rawly taken. So gradualism is mentioned. So now, what Dr. Basil De Silva said